Uninvited entity. March 2025. Hello Jane and Vince. This will be one of those long stories you might skip over, but I hope you give it a read. There is no resolution, as I have no idea what the entity was that was in our house. I have to give some background as to some experiences that involved him that are relevant to the terrifying experience we had. My son, now 31, was about 3 years old at the time of this incident. At one point in the same house, he had come up alongside me and started to say, "Mommy, and then paused, pointed into the kitchen and asked me, "Who's that?" I peered into the kitchen, not seeing anyone. I asked him who he was talking about and he said right there. Like I was an idiot. I knew he was seeing something that I could not, so I asked him what the person looked like, whether like me or grandpa or grandma. He said grandma. Then his eyes followed whatever he was seeing obviously walk out of the kitchen and out the front door. He then resumed with his question he had originally come in to ask me, like nothing happened. I realized he had what I originally called a gift. I would later decide not to help him hone because of the main experience I'm writing about. It would become obvious to me that he was a magnet for not only benign and today's, but those that could cause harm, and he had none of the tools to protect himself at his age. This next part is relevant to another incident, and it will become clear why I included it. He used to sit on the floor of the kitchen playing with his toys while my aunts, mother, and I would sit around the table drinking coffee and chatting. He would repeat what he was hearing us talk about in a completely monotone voice. No inflection at all, just repeating what he was hearing without any emotion. After my father died, he was crying, knowing he wouldn't see his grandfather again. I was in the dining room speaking with a hospice nurse, holding him, facing towards my back. All of a sudden he stopped crying and said in a monotone voice, "I'll see you again." Both the hospice nurse and I stared at each other with wide eyes. She said, "Did he just?" All I could do was nod. Just as in the kitchen, he was repeating what he heard. He and my father were thicker than thieves, attached at the hip, and I didn't exist whenever those two were with each other. So I didn't find it surprising that my father was saying goodbye to him. When I asked my son what he just saw, he yelled nothing, and resumed crying. This brings us to the incident in our house that was so terrifying. My son had always been a happy child, and wasn't prone to fantasy, as hard as that is to believe about a child. He's always been an old soul and far beyond his years.